Hello and welcome to Crime Watch Daily Updates. I'm your host, Anna Garcia. Stephanie and Judith Emile left Haiti for Boston with high hopes for the future. The family fled Haiti to escape the country's violence and looked to the United States as a place where they could achieve their American dream. Instead, one man shot down those aspirations in the blink of an eye. Judith and Stephanie were two of 13 children, and they lived together in an apartment in Boston's Dorchester neighborhood. They were close as could be, but in the morning of November 14th, 2011, the entire Emile family broke apart. Boston police received a call that day about gunfire at the sisters' apartment and discovered a tragic scene. 21-year-old Stephanie had been shot in the back of the head in her bathroom. She was apparently still holding her toothbrush. In the next room, 23-year-old Judith was shot several times as she read the Bible to her 2-year-old niece, who was lying next to her. The gunman spared the little girl's life. The suspect, however, did not know that one of Judith and Stephanie's other sisters was inside the apartment, and she called 911 after the shots broke out. During the investigation, police learned that Stephanie secretly dated a man named Jean Janvier and identified him as the suspect. The two reportedly broke up not long before the murders, and prosecutors believed he was angry that she started dating someone new. As police got ready to arrest Jean, they ran into a problem. He completely disappeared. Police searched for Jean for years, even added him to the U.S. Marshals' top 15 most wanted fugitives. He was eventually apprehended at his mother's house in Haiti in June of 2017. He went to trial 2 years later in June of 2019 and was convicted of first-degree murder for killing Stephanie and second-degree murder for Judith's death. A judge sentenced Jean to life in prison. Let's look back at the case of a tight-knit family that will forever be scarred by the loss of two bright daughters and sisters.
Two pretty young sisters.
They were wonderful girls.
Murdered, execution style.
Like a piece of meat that they slaughtered.
Caught in the middle of the gruesome bloodbath, a terrified 2-year-old.
There's blood splatter on her.
What the killer didn't know was there was someone else hiding inside the apartment.
We called Judith pleading, please don't kill me, don't kill me.
Now U.S. Marshals are on a desperate manhunt for the fugitive they say is so evil, he's been named one of their top 15 most wanted.
He could be anywhere.
And Crime Watch Daily is closing in on where he may be hiding.
Their family believes that your family is helping him. Is that true?
Violence was something sisters Stephanie and Judith Emile thought they escaped when they fled their home in Haiti.
They had come a long way from your life in Haiti.
Yeah, very long way. It's very tough down there.
The Emile family, 13 brothers and sisters in all, moved to Boston with hope in their hearts of finding the American dream.
My dad came here to give us a better life, to be able to provide for his kids and making sure we have a good life.
21-year-old Stephanie worked at a nursing home and wanted a career in medicine.
She would light up a room. She's the type of person that will walk in that room and everybody's frown is turned upside down. You can't really be mad at her.
23-year-old Judith loved to cook and worked at a restaurant.
She was like the best little sister. Like every day, like I woke up, she's like, you hungry? You want anything?
She was always taking care of you.
Yeah, always.
The sisters finally saved up enough money to get their own place and chose what they thought was a safe, quiet apartment building in the heavily Haitian community of Dorchester.
By all accounts, they were just great girls.
They wasn't troublemakers. They didn't go out looking for trouble. They was just more to themselves.
The two of them were very close.
Very close, yeah, real close.
So close, they shared secrets nobody else knew. In fact, Judith was the only one who knew Stephanie was dating someone.
Did you ever meet him?
I never met the dude once in my life.
Stephanie never talked about him?
She was like, oh, it's just my friend, and I'm like, okay.
I didn't know him personally. I've ran into a lot of people who have said that they've known him. They thought he had a few screws loose.
The family may have never found out about Stephanie's mystery man had it not been for these 911 calls.
2 people were shot downstairs on the first floor.
This is a Crime Watch Daily exclusive. Police have never released these chilling calls before.
All this happened? It's like 2 or 3 minutes ago.
You can hear the horror and heartbreak in the caller's voice.
So did you see anyone? No. You didn't see anybody do that?
When we get to the apartment, we go through the front door. I immediately notice a large pool of blood in the doorway leading into the bathroom.
Sergeant Sean Doherty says he's still haunted by what he saw inside the sister's apartment that terrible morning.
I see Stephanie laid up in the corner. She appears to be shot in the back of the head, and she has a toothbrush in her hand, which leads us to believe she was actually brushing her teeth.
Moments later, Detective Doherty believes the gunman burst through Judith's bedroom door, shooting her 4 times.
The thing that struck me the most about this was when we're going through the evidence, there was actually a Bible that appeared to have been struck by a bullet, which would have meant that she had that Bible in her hand when she was shot.
What makes the sister's murder even more disturbing, Judith was killed right in front of her 2-year-old niece. She was babysitting at the time.
There was actually a sippy cup off to the side of the bed, and when we located that child, they had blood spatter on their clothes and on their face.
I'm just like, how does someone even commit such a heinous crime in front of a 2-year-old?
What did this 2-year-old say to you?
She described to me how Stephanie was crying through her mouth. And I'm just like, that means she probably was bleeding through her mouth. And she was sitting right next to Judith when Judith got shot. So she knows Judith got shot in her head.
Are you surprised this gunman, this person without a conscience, this madman, didn't take the life of your 2-year-old niece?
I was beyond surprised.
Surprised, but also curious. Maralda says she immediately wondered if the killer was someone who knew the little girl couldn't identify him.
Her speech was kind of off, so you really couldn't understand sometimes what she would be saying. And I'm like, this person had to know that she's not able to talk.
What the gunman didn't know was there was someone else inside the apartment who could talk.
Your other sister was in that apartment?
Yes.
The sister, who we won't identify for her own protection, was in another bedroom when she heard the gunshots.
She was in a bedroom, which was across from the bathroom. And she recalled Judith begging him not to kill her, telling him to stop. And he just kept on shooting.
She could have potentially been a 3rd sister.
Yeah.
Who would have been murdered.
Yeah.
Up next, the bigger question, what did she witness?
I think he was out of bullets, and that's why she's still alive.
Did you go into that apartment?
I went in the apartment a few days later.
And what did you find?
When I first walked in, I see the bathroom door with blood splattered all over it.
Crime scene photos just released exclusively to Crime Watch Daily show the bathroom where cops believe 21-year-old Stephanie Emile took her last breath.
Her blood was still on the floor.
Just a few feet away, the bedroom where her sister, 23-year-old Judith, was fatally shot.
Her headboard had bullet holes. Her mattress had bullet holes. It was a lot.
How many times were each of your sisters shot?
They never told us. From what I've seen, it looks like he shot Judith a lot more than Stephanie.
You find out that they weren't the only ones in there.
Yes. My niece was inside that apartment, on the bed, with one of my sisters that got murdered.
The killer shows some mercy and lets the little girl live, but the toddler is forever scarred.
She's gonna be traumatized for the rest of her life.
Thankfully, the gunman did not know there was another Emile sister hiding inside the apartment.
She was in there.
She was in the house.
The sister, who we will not identify, still lives in fear of the killer.
She can't even talk about this.
She can't talk about it.
Police say she was in another bedroom and awoke to the horror of gunshots and the blood-curdling screams of her dying sisters.
She's terrified. She can't sleep at night. She's got numerous issues now over this, and she's scared to death because we haven't located him yet.
Sadly, the surviving sister tells police she never got a good look at the killer.
So at that point,
I'm just wondering who could it be and why.
That's also the question cops were asking.
at first police had no suspects. Did it appear to be random?
To me, I thought it was random, but then again, I didn't think it was random.
Two things didn't add up for Marilda. First, why the murderer left the little girl alive, and the second was a secret only someone close to the sisters would have known, the trick to opening their door.
You would think it's locked when you go to open it. You have to know how to play with the doorknob, and you have to be someone that's been in that apartment to know how to open it.
Police confirmed to Crime Watch Daily there was no signs of forced entry. But who would want these sisters dead?
The thing that's different about this case is they're true victims. They didn't choose a violent lifestyle, they weren't engaged in any criminal activity, and it was a double murder and they're two young women. Just going about their normal daily routine.
As the Boston Police Department began to collect forensic evidence, the entire Haitian community came together to grieve the sweet sisters, including one mysterious mourner, a young man the family is shocked to find out Stephanie had been dating.
You just had no idea.
I had no idea. And he was at the apartment the day of the murder. He came and grieved with us.
The young Haitian man's name is Jean Weavens Janvier, a local rap artist who lived around the corner with his brother.
He was there touching my mom, calming her down.
It's not unusual for police to name a boyfriend a person of interest, but there was nothing suspicious in Jean's past to indicate he was capable of such a vicious crime.
He had no criminal record. He worked. He's just a normal guy that you would meet on the street.
But as the Emile family prepared to lay their sweet sisters to rest, cops get a tip. The mourning boyfriend is really an angry ex.
Stephanie broke up with him.
That right prior to her dying, yes.
Do you know why she broke up with him?
I heard he had at some point told her that he was gonna hurt her.
I think she was done with the relationship and he didn't want to be done with the relationship.
But rumors aren't enough to arrest Jean Weavens Janvier.
He was around living his life in that neighborhood.
Yes, he was living his life.
However, phone records are enough to make Jean Weavens Janvier a prime person of interest. They show the jilted boyfriend is heating up Stephanie's phone just hours before the murders.
There had been some conversation and there had been some missed calls.
Cops believe a slow burn turns into a full-fledged rage. Then, at the exact same time those 911 calls come in, radio silence.
After the incident occurred, there were no more phone calls to Stephanie from that number.
Up next, cops move in to arrest Jean Janvier. There's just one problem. He's nowhere to be found.
He's basically your ghost right now.
And we team up with the U.S. Marshals to catch him.
I'm from Crime Watch Daily. Are you helping him in any way?
Get out of my face.
This is the monster Boston police say murdered the Emile sisters, Jean Weavens Janvier.
He murdered two innocent girls who were just, one was brushing her teeth and the other one's watching her niece reading the Bible. I mean, it doesn't get any more horrifying than that.
Police say his motive? A jealous obsession.
Mr. Weavens didn't feel he was getting enough attention from Stephanie at the time.
Police believe Stephanie Emile abruptly dumped Janvier for an old flame. And when she did, they say he snapped.
When you found out,
It crushed me, killed me. To this day, it still killed me.
Phone records reveal Janvier began calling Stephanie non-stop in the hours leading up to the murders, when Stephanie shunned him. Police say Janvier went to her apartment with a 10mm gun and opened fire. His ex-girlfriend Stephanie was shot twice, once in the back of the head. Her sister Judith took 4 bullets, all while reading the Bible on the bed to their 2-year-old niece. She was spared. A moment of mercy cops don't think so.
I don't know if he spared her life or if he just ran out of ammunition.
This was an incredibly brutal and horrendous crime.
Boston police charges Janvier with 2 counts of first-degree murder. But when word spreads cops were coming for him, Janvier took off and has been on the run ever since.
We believe he fled Boston, in that time vicinity, and he could be anywhere.
U.S. Marshals are now on the hunt to capture the fugitive so dangerous, he's just elevated to their most wanted list.
When someone is put on the United States Marshals' top 15 most wanted, what does that mean?
Basically, it's an all-out manhunt for this individual.
U.S. Marshals say Janvier has ties to Haiti, Miami, and Montreal. But the Emile family believes he stayed close to his family.
Do you think people in the Haitian community could be hiding him out?
I think his family is hiding him out.
So Crime Watch Daily went to the home of his brother, Weavens Janvier, looking for Jean and answers.
We just got to the residence of Jean's parents, and it looks like there's a vehicle running in the back. So it looks like we got here just in time. Hi.
That's Jean's brother.
I'm Michelle from
I'm all
Crime
set.
Watch
I'm all
Daily.
set. I'm all set.
Is Jean your brother?
Did I just say I'm all set?
No, I understand, but I hope you understand that he's wanted for the murder of 2 young women.
I'm all set.
Their family believes that your family is helping him. Is that
Okay.
true?
I'm all set. Did you not get those?
We were determined to get answers for the Emile family.
I totally understand, but I have to get the
Okay.
other side of the story. Are you helping him in any way? Do you know if he's in Haiti? Do you know that he's a U.S. Marshal top 15 most wanted? And that there's 2 young girls who were murdered? And there's a family that's grieving after 5
Engage,
years?
Gentlemen, it's that way.
Okay,
Please.
we'll leave.
Get out of my face.
With that, we were forced to leave, but we're not about to give up, and neither is the girl's family.
What is your message to them?
That he's not invisible, that one day we will get justice. He's a coward. He torn apart a family. Knowing that he's still out there, it's just worst. Knowing that he's still living his life, it's worst.
Cops say if you do see Janvier, do not approach him. He may still be armed, and he is indeed dangerous. And their warning to Janvier?
We will not give up on this case. He's on the top 15 list for a reason.
You're coming for him.
We are coming from him. We'll find him.